putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Uranium is a big subject. If the mainstream media would cover the uranium scandal and that Russia has 20% of our uranium for whatever reason, and a lot of people understand what those reasons may be, I think that's your Russia story. That's your real Russia story, not a story where they talk about collusion and there was none. It was a hoax. Your real Russia story is uranium and how they got all of that uranium, a vast percentage of what we have. That is, to me, one of the big stories of the decade, not just now, of the decade. The problem is that the mainstream media does not want to cover that story because that affects people that they protect. So they don't like covering that story. But the big story is uranium and how Russia got 20% of our uranium. And frankly, it's a disgrace.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. Uh-oh is all I have to say. Uh-oh, Hillary Clinton. The Russia scandal grows. When does it add up to treason? Selling our uranium to the Russians. I mean, we're talking about thermonuclear war material. It's not selling olive oil, folks. The walls close in on the Clinton cartel finally. And now I know many Americans have felt like the Clintons are untouchable. And your feelings are understandable. I get it. After all, the Clintons have escaped the inescapable. We have watched these people squirm out of things where you go, you've got to be kidding. There's no way they get away with this. But they have been able to. Look at how crooked former FBI Director James Comey ran interference for this mafioso family and their crooked foundation. And at this point, I will tell you, only the most ardent Clinton supporter and brain-dead moron, but I'm being redundant, would believe that the Clintons have done nothing wrong. The evidence here, folks, and you know what I'm about to say, it's overwhelming. And the Clintons still walk among the general population, shopping and gallivanting. The president tweeted about this, and you just heard his comments because it was much like the tweet. Why are you not looking at this? I mean, if he piles on, and remember, I want you to remember, after the election, Donald Trump says, look, I'm just going to leave these fools alone. I'm not going to be vindictive. I don't want to appear vindictive. Look, it's not vindictive to say, let's get justice. Anyway, Judge Politano was on Varney and Company, and he agreed with President Trump, and he had some advice. He said that the president should call on General James Kelly, who is his chief of staff, and he says the president should ask Kelly to contact the attorney general and ask them to reopen the case on Hillary Clinton. And Napolitano says this action would lead to an indictment against the Clintons. And I don't think there's a person who's really paying attention to this who would disagree. Now, I want you to remember where all this ended. What I'm about to tell you was on November the 2nd. This was Bret Baier. He was talking about this on Fox News, and he gave 5 points as to why the Clintons were in trouble. He said, number one, the investigation was far more expansive into the Clinton Foundation than anyone had reported so far and has been going on for over a year. Number two, the laptops of Clinton's aides, Cheryl Mills and Heather Samuelson, had not been destroyed, and agents are currently combing through them. The investigation had interviewed several people twice and plans to interview some of them for a third time. Number three, agents have found emails to have believed to have originated on Hillary Clinton's server on Anthony Weiner's laptop. Now we're back here. But I'm saying this was on November the 2nd of last year. 4, sources within the FBI have told Baier that an indictment is likely in the case of pay for play for the Clinton Foundation, barring some obstruction in some way from the Justice Department. I'll get back to that. And number 5, FBI sources say with 99% accuracy that Hillary Clinton's server has been hacked by at least 5 foreign intelligence agencies. Now, That was November the 2nd of 2016. Comey was still in power, and everybody was sort of, figuring this guy's going to, how much more protection can he run? If he wants to be considered a legitimate FBI director, then something's got to give. Nothing happened. Now, I want to walk you back through. We talked about this, I don't know, probably 6-7 months ago. And I explained to you guys what Comey's background was and why he wasn't going to indict the Clintons. And we're just starting to get the real picture of this, but I want to explain to you again. So Comey was a assistant U.S. attorney in the late 90s. He only gained power and money by being a DOJ official who, quote, investigated and cleared Bill Clinton of any wrongdoing in Clinton's totally corrupt pardon for huge payoffs of criminal financier Mark Rich as Clinton was leaving the presidency. This is how Comey began his career as a creature of the swamp years ago and a servant of the Clintons. Comey provided cover for the Clintons in their gaining power and wealth after leaving office through pardoning the billionaire money laundering arms dealer and criminal. Comey was a key piece in how the Clintons upped their corruption game and gained incredible wealth through their foundation after the Clintons left the White House. Remember, Hillary Clinton has a fear. I'm talking about an abject fear of going broke. She talked about, who else would say, well, when Bill and I left the White House, we were dead broke. The Clintons, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton could live on, chicken farm in an old shack. Not that he wants to. He loves the power, but he doesn't crave the money. Hillary Clinton craves the money that comes with that power. So anyway, Comey was part of this. And so the scheme that gave Mark Rich a free pass when he should have spent his life in prison is what Comey covered up for the Clintons. And this set Comey up to be part of the machine, and it made the guy wealthy and powerful. So when people were trying to pass Comey off as some nonpartisan, blah, 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 nonsense. Comey has never been nonpartisan. He might have given up an affiliation. I'm no longer going to declare Democrat or Republican or whatever, but he has been part of the Clinton machine from day one. Now let's go back to Lockheed. So after the Clintons' dirty work as a DOJ official, Comey resigned from DOJ, took a position as the head attorney of Lockheed Martin, and they're a big military contractor. So while he's in this position, Lockheed became a major contributor to the Clintons, contributed millions to their charity and its fake charity spinoffs. And in return for those payments to Clinton Inc., Lockheed received huge contracts with Hillary's State Department. Comey was the chief legal officer at Lockheed throughout the period of the contributions to Clinton Inc. in return for State Department contracts. This is easy to figure out, folks. This is not, you don't need to do a whole lot of investigative work to see where Comey was in the DOJ, worked with Bill Clinton, left there to go to Lockheed, worked with the Clintons, getting money to their foundation. And in late 2012, after he oversaw Lockheed's successful relationship with the Hillary Clinton State Department and the resulting profits, Comey stepped down from Lockheed and received a $6 million payout for his services. Then he went to HSBC. In 2013, the largest bank of England, HSBC, was in scandal. Investigations by federal authorities and law enforcement have revealed for years HSBC had been laundering billions of dollars from Mexican drug cartels, and they were channeling this money for Saudi banks who were financing terror, moving money for Iran in violation of sanctions and other major criminal activities. It was pervasive. HSBC was a huge Clinton Foundation contributor, many millions throughout this investigation, and Bill Clinton was being paid large speaking fees at these events while Hillary was Secretary of State. Eric Holder and the Justice Department did what they were paid to do, and the HSBC they let HSBC off with a $1.2 billion fine that was paid by the stockholders or the stakeholders. But Not one director, not one office of management member of HBC was fired or charged with any criminal activity. Comey was part of the effort to cover up the scandal and make HSBC respectable again. Then he was appointed to the FBI with no experience in law enforcement. And that's when he started running interference for Hillary Clinton. You got to read this whole story we wrote about a while back, but it's a sordid tale, trust me.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.